Oh, okay. So what time is it?
Ask
your
aunties.
Oh man, who has it?
I got her. All right, here's the Ask Your Auntie question from Anonymous. Me and my boyfriend have been together for 2.5 years, and we're now thinking about experimenting with others, but only oral. I brought up the subject, or I brought up the idea, and it was all for it, but now I'm kind of regretting it, and I don't know if I should actually go through with this. Should I give it a shot once and see if this is something I'm into, or just try to talk to my partner about not doing it altogether? Could really use some advice, aunties.
Seth?
Okay, so sorry, I'm getting so it's almost like two questions. Like one, should I go through with it? And then like two, should we just keep it at oral?
Yeah.
I feel that they should go through with it. Absolutely. Is there straight people at bathhouses? Yes, there is. Go to a straight person bathhouse, which we call a bathhouse. No, I don't know.
Right.
A spa.
A spa.
For naked. Go to a naked spa with your partner. Have a cocktail, virgin, full of alcohol, whatever, and then experiment. But the thing is, when you're there, you don't have to follow through. If it just doesn't feel safe or comfortable, then don't do it, and just hang out and talk. And if it feels fun, and I feel like that would be a great environment versus like having the person come over and so much pressure to like with your partner and the other person, and like then they'd have to like take an Uber home for $6, and that'd be crazy. And like I don't know, but also I think
And
you
don't
should
let
just
there be a surcharge. But like, oh damn, the surcharge and
And on the other part of it, I think for me, kissing and like oral is very intimate. So I would just keep it like down there only and just do the opposite and just kiss my partner while whatever they're doing down there is they're doing. But that would be my suggestion for you.
I think you're onto something. Isn't there this thing is it called tantric sex or
tantric.
I
Yeah,
forget what it's-
tantric.
Yeah,
Tantric,
but
yeah.
I believe it's like you go and you have like massages and stuff like that. It's a group experience, and then like, but you do it through like sensory of pleasure.
Oh,
you
like
know?
Puerto Vallarta on the beach?
That's a
Never
true
been,
statement.
not yet.
See you soon, PB.
See you soon. coming to a Spotify near you. But I mean, I think that would be one way to try your hand of like bringing someone else in. At least it's into like a safe environment where you're like, the idea is just to relax and to just kind of connect with yourself physically, emotionally, and sexually with someone, but not in a sense of like you're here to fuck, if that makes sense. At least you'll be dabbing your hand and like doing something with your partner with other people. But that's if you actually want to go through it. The fact that you're asking, should I just give it a shot? Just let me know you have too much doubt, and that's just how your house is gonna fuck up and burn up. I'm just saying, like, if you got doubt, that means you ain't ready, and you might as well just throw the whole man away and the whole relationship away at this point if you're gonna go through it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it seems like it was he was the one that brought it up, though. So it's just like, why did you bring it up? And then now you're kind of backtracking. So
I mean, it could be
why
that
you wanted to do it in the first place.
It could be that maybe there was a conversation he had with his partner, and maybe his partner was the one that was into it. Like I've known people who have I've been that bitch actually, who has given it a try in a relationship because it was something that my partner was into.
Right.
And I've been that person who had the doubts, and I kid you not, I slapped the fuck out that hoe one time because he was crossing the lines when we were doing something with someone one time. So let me tell you, it's right. Let me tell you, if it's not something that you're up for, just simply don't do it. Communicate it with your partner that you're not there. If you are entertaining the idea of possibly growing in your relationship and may one day be there, then say that, but don't force it if you ain't ready. Like, just don't do it, because what you end up doing is sabotage and create all these other insecurities and all this other drama in your relationship that's going to be unnecessary. For what? Because you just didn't communicate. You rushed it.
Yeah, like I just want to know the behind the scenes of why you brought up in the first place. Like that's where I'm kind of more intrigued than anything, because it's just like, are you doing it because you felt like you were forced to do it, or just because we've been together 2.5 years? Let's spice it up, and this is the normal thing to do. Question that first. Besides, like just going along just for the fact of it, it's fine to change your mind. Like if you were in a moment and you're like, okay, now I'm actually no, I'm not ready to pump the brakes. That's fine,
Mm-hmm.
but you're gonna have to communicate everything and explore within yourself why you want to do one thing, and then why you're not comfortable and why, and things like that. And I almost feel like a lot of times, like we say only oral, when we know a lot of times shit lead to another damn thing, and it's just like, because it's just like a lot of times people that are in relationships or open relationships will be like, okay, we could do oral but no kissing, we could do this and not that, which is fine. Establish the rules, because rules are rules. I agree with that statement, but a lot of times I think we do that thinking, oh, that will not make them fall in love with somebody else, or this will not make them, instead of being like, okay, why am I feeling this way? And that's what I always try to explore more than just the actual act. Is like, okay, we all know like kissing a lot of times is involved in sex and things like that. So it's just like, I don't know. So it's just like, if you felt it and now you don't, okay, cool. Communicate that to your partner and say, nah, you know what? I'm not ready. But I want you to actually really explore the reasons of why you brought it up in the first place, why now you're backtracking and things like that. Is it because you don't feel the relationship is on solid ground, on foundation, things like that? Is there some insecurity within you thinking like, oh, if we go this route, I'm going to lose the relationship? Figure that all out first, because if you don't have that situated, that's where a lot of, like Jerrell said, the house is going to burn and things like that, because you haven't dealt with the shit in the first place. You just hopping in willy-nilly, no pun intended, and not figuring out what this relationship and now is solid, and what do you truly want in this moment. Because it's okay to like want different things in your relationship, as long as you communicate it and figure out why you want that and what you need. Is it because you're missing something in your relationship, or is it, no, I'm good, I just want maybe a little cherry on top? And that's the conversations you need to be having with your partner and things about this, not just because you feel like 2.5 years in, that's the thing we're supposed to be doing now.
In addition to all that, trust your gut.
That too.
Trust your gut. If there is something in you that's saying, for whatever reason, and I agree with Kerel, particularly about, exploring the whys behind. But if there's something that's telling you that you're not going to like this for whatever reason, trust that.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, call it intuition, call it your gut, call it your, sixth sense, call it whatever it is. But the last thing that you want to have out of this is regret. I would imagine that the whole reason this conversation probably came up was, as an opportunity to try something new. You even said it in your comment, and that's fine, but you're also entitled to change your mind if something doesn't hit right or something doesn't feel right. So, above everything else, just trust your gut, so that whatever it is that you choose to do, or choose to allow your partner to do, or allow the both of you to do together or separately, or whatever it is, you feel good about it. Because if you're not feeling good about just the thought of it, then the actual action is just going to be, as Jerrell was saying, it's like
going to be enjoyable,
worse. And if you're feeling good about it, then I would lean on, what Seth was saying. It's like, find
Suck
out the
that
best
dick,
avenue.
Go to that bar in Chicago.
Dive in feet first. But if your gut is telling you, like, we all have that little thing that's in the back of our minds or in our guts or whatever, that's telling us the things that we shouldn't be doing. We all have it, and sometimes we listen to it and sometimes we don't. And the fact that you're questioning this now just said that that's a little bit louder with this particular situation, and you might want to explore that before actually committing the act, so that you don't regret it.
but it's great. And it's going to be wonderful if you do choose to do it, and bring poppers.
I know that's right, and a black cat cocktail too. Okay, that's to get to loosen up a little bit. Okay,
some of that J Lube.
What did you say before we started recording the podcast about your experience?
Like a sexual experience or an experience?
She said to us she had a whole lot of bad experiences happen in her life, and she's willing to give all the kinds of bad advice to anybody who will listen. So
look,
go ahead.
She's trying to send them
bad advice, but like.
As she sits in her crystal cage over there in Toronto, like, be fruitful. Let them eat cake. Let them suck dick.
Let them eat cake all by the ocean. I know that's right.
I mean, I will say, as someone who was like in a relationship very similar to this, like, I was that person who didn't think it through and it didn't turn out well for me. Doesn't mean it can't turn out well for you. But for someone with the actual experience as this person who wrote in this question, really do your background as far as what is it you want and what you don't want. Even if you want this, talk about and think about what it is what are your lines, what are your do's and don'ts, and then making sure that you are on the same page with your partner. I will say if you don't do any of those things, it's going to get messy. And what ended up happening in my case is that asshole left me for one of the people that we were doing that shit with. So it was fun, but it ended up being messy at the end. And, you know, shit can go south real quick. So just really do your work and figure out why.
Yeah. So continue to send your questions to aya@minorityReport.com or DM us. Yeah, that's a juicy one. But suck that dick.
Yeah, go for it. Like the right answer is it's going to be amazing.
I do. That would be a bomb ass.
That is the right answer.
You know, that's the right answer.
All day, every day. That's funny.
I don't know why.
Don't be scared.
Just
Suck
went
the
out
dick.
on me.
Look, she's got a spotlight.
Curfew.
Come on, Melanin Glow.
Right.
Okay.
Who needs lighting? Who needs overhead lighting? You got this glowing, this
what
inner
just
glow.
happened?
Look, she sit by the beach for one day and she said, y'all gonna see all this, okay?
Bitch, right?
Right.